cause that be natural.
Lady
I ain't
D.
looking tacky. I keep my game tactful.
Yo.
Yeah, I'm so nappy.
M.O.B.
Cause that be natural.
The infamous.
I ain't looking tacky cause I keep my game tactful.
I'm so pretty, I'm so fabu, I'm so natural, it's like it's a taboo. I'm so filthy, got the tattoo, stuck in these bitches like I own ragu. On my business with my platoon, getting these minutes like I'm a typhoon. Y'all this jersey on that cartoon and I'm still on top.
Hey guys, welcome back to Afros and Baby Hairs, and today we're going to be doing another nails and design experiment number 17, which will consist of dots and flowers. So if you're interested in seeing how we do this particular nail design, then please keep on watching. So yeah, basically we're starting off by cleaning the nails. She did have some old polish on her nails, so we wanted to remove that with the acetone. She pretty much cleaned her nails off with the acetone and cotton rounds, and then I just followed up to get the excess off with my actual acetone and brush. So yeah, that's what we're doing on this particular clip. It's just cleaning and prepping the nail for this particular nail design and manicure session. So right here, I'm just filing down any unevenness and creating a smooth surface to paint on. There is a little bit of chipping going on, but that is what we're working on. And just filing the nail and making sure that it is even, because the nails tend to be different lengths, and that's okay just as long as they're filed. That's just my opinion. I just feel like it doesn't matter about them being uneven if it's not that noticeable. But anyway, after I file the nail, I just buff everything down to make sure that it's smooth, and then I clean away any of the shavings. So next I'm going in with this Sally Hansen Hard as Nails hardener. I've been using this treatment on her nails here recently just to make sure that her nails are not brittle, to make them stronger and harder so that they won't be as prone to breakage. So yeah, that is why I am starting off with the nail hardener for that purpose. So this is what we're doing on these clips. So yeah, now that the nails have dried, the actual nail hardener has dried on the nail, we will begin to move on to the painting process. And this is the first coat. And we're going to start off with the Wet n Wild Fast Dry 245A Violet Tendencies, and then move on to the Wet n Wild Fast Dry 242A Don't Be So Coy. We're just laying down the first layer of polish, and then once these are dry, we'll move on to the second layer. And also, guys, make sure that you have some acetone available and the cleanup brush that you want to use to clean up any excess. So I do have some available to clean up as I go. This is totally optional. You can save it all for the end, or you can do it as you go. And some of you may be wondering why we chose these colors. I know they give like Easter or spring vibes, but usually she chooses blue. That's her favorite color. But we just wanted to switch it up a little bit and give her something different. It is the fall time, but it's okay to revert back to colors that you enjoy. I mean, to each his own. You can do whatever you want to do. So yeah, there's no real particular reason why we chose these colors other than, just trying for a different look. So now that she let her nails completely dry, we will be going in for a second coat. So that's what we'll be doing on this clip. It's just adding the second coat. And to me, this just makes the nail color pop a little bit more. It makes the nails, the polish last a little bit longer on the nails. So yeah, that's what we're doing on this particular clip. So yeah, we're still adding the second layer of polish. This is totally optional. You can do whatever you feel, whatever works best for you. You can leave it at one coat or you can apply multiple coats depending on how long you want your polish to last, how much time you have to do your nails or whatever. It's completely up to you. I just feel like, a second layer is always necessary to make sure that the polish lasts. It also depends on what brand of polish you're using. Sometimes not even the brand, sometimes it's the color. Some colors are more pigmented, some of them are lighter. So it just all depends on preference and your time schedule, your needs, your looks, and all of that. So just do what you feel and what looks nice to you. So yeah, we're just continuing on adding the second layer. So yeah, now that she has sat under the dryer, I'm going to begin working on the actual decals. And today I have a few new products that I want to share with you guys. So first, I'm just laying down the actual base for my decals so that can be drying. So you do want to use your fast drying top coat or whatever base that you choose. I like to use this one because it dries fast and it's easy to work with. I love the finish and all of that. So that's just a preference as well. But right here, I have a new plate that I'm going to be using today. This is XY-E10 stamping plate. And You know, since it's brand new, I do have to peel off this um, plastic film. You have to make sure that you're removing the film in order to use the stamping plates. So also, I'm just getting everything together. I do want to get a flower design from this particular plate. So I'm just thinking about all of the things that I need to be able to create this decal. So I have my stamping polish and my colors that I'm going to apply to this actual design, which is the yellow and the green color. The true names for them is the Sinful Shine Banana Appeal 1616 and Sinful Colors Mint Apple 947. Here I'm showing you the Lantern and Wren stamper. It's a double-ended stamper, and they did send a scraper with it. I did not really like the actual scraper, as you will see as the clip goes on. However, I did want a smaller stamper, particularly for Mimi's nails, because her nail beds are so small, and I do want to be able to pick up one design at a time sometimes dealing with her nails. So we're going to try this particular new stamper out today and see how this works out. So yeah, I'm going to use the black stamping polish as the actual base for the design. And as you can see, I'm also prepping this actual stamper with the file. Sometimes when you get them, they won't pick up unless they're prepped. So sometimes you have to do that in order to use them. This is a one-time thing. You don't have to continuously do that, just on the very first time. So anyway, we're moving on to the actual stamping portion, and I'm using the stamper as well as the scraper that came with the set. And as you can see, it's a bit of polish still smeared across the actual plate. So I like for my scraper to get most of that out of the way, but as you can see with this particular one, it's not really scraping like I'm used to. So in a moment I will switch over and use my normal scraper, but so far I am enjoying the actual stamper. It is working pretty good. So that is what we're doing on these following clips. It's just getting the design transferred to the decal. So yeah, guys, sometimes when you have a new plate and a new stamper, you do have to play around with it so that you can get a feel for how to use these particular new items. So that's what you saw me doing, is just playing around with them until I got a feel for what I was looking for. And now I'm just moving on to the filling in the color on the design. And like I said, I'm using the Sinful Shine Banana Appeal 1616 and Sinful Colors Mint Apple 947. I also wanted to mention that I was using the Born Pretty stamping polish number 3, the black. So just in case you're wondering, I did want to add that in. But yeah, right here I'm just filling in the flower with that yellow color, and then the actual light green for the stem and leaves. So yeah, that's what we're doing on this particular clip. So yeah, I did want to mention that this is considered reverse stamping. So please make sure that you flip these over before placing them on the nail for these particular flower designs, since I'm adding the color, they will need to be flipped so that they can look more professional. Otherwise, they will look very elementary. However, in a moment, I'm going to be moving on to the actual dots. I wanted to get an opportunity to use my dotting tools and see how that works and experiment with that. So on particular designs that don't have a real outline, you don't have to flip those. But if you have an outline on your design, you do need to flip those in order for them to look right. So I just wanted to make sure that I mentioned that in case anyone forgot. So yeah, moving right along. Like I said, we're moving into sealing in the actual flower design to make sure that the decal is complete and is transferable to the nail. And then we're going to move on to the actual dotting process. I've never had the opportunity to use the dotting tools for dots, so I'm going to do that today. And that is the reason why we decided to add dots to this particular manicure session. So yeah, you can play around with the dots however you want to. I'm just going to be using the same colors that I used in the actual flower design. However, I did add white, and that white is a French white by Broadway Nails Gel Strong G101. So yeah, I'm just layering the dots on top of each other, the base of them being white, and then I'll go in with the Sinful Colors Mint Apple 947, and then the Sinful Shine Banana Appeal 1616, going from large, medium, and small, making the dots that way. But this is just something that I'm playing with, trying to get a feel for the dotting tool. How does it transfer the polish and all of that? Like I said, this is my first time working with the dotting tools, so I'm just using different sizes to create these dots. So you can just play around with it and figure out what you like, what you don't like. It's just trial and error. As I said before, these are just experimental sessions where we're learning and using our creativity. So now on the decals, I'm just going to lift them off of the actual mat because they are maybe about 95% dry. So I'm able to lift them, and once I lift them, I'm going to cut them down to size, just removing a lot of the excess that I don't need for the nail, keeping in mind the size of her nail bed. But yeah, you want to be really careful in removing these because they can get damaged, they can tear, and you don't want that to happen. So I advise you want to take your time when you're removing these because that is a very delicate step. So yeah, just keep that in mind. And like I said, I will be cutting these out to actually fit her nail and avoid some cleanup time. So yeah, that's what we're doing on these clips. So yeah, guys, we're moving on to the actual cutting portion, and I just want to mention that you don't want to cut too much away. and you don't want to leave too much on. It's better to leave more on though, because you can cut it down later. So just keep in mind the actual size of the nail and how much cleanup you want to experience. So, you could leave them whole like that and just clean up more if you want to be on the safe side. However, if you are used to creating decals, then you already can estimate how much to cut and how much to leave. But like I said, you want to be careful not to cut too much, because sometimes when the decals are too small, they tend to make you have to work harder to make decals blend in and all of that. So, yeah. So yeah, now we're ready to begin the actual process of applying the decals. And you always want to start off with your fast drying top coat. Um, and that's just to get the decal to melt into the nail as well. Make sure that you have your acetone available for your cleanup process, and also to mold the actual decal to the nail. Um, Once you place your decal where you want it to be, you want to follow up with the actual fast drying top coat to go ahead and start sealing it into place. And as it's sealing, you want to clean up the excess with the acetone and your cleanup brush. So that's what we're going to be doing on these scenes. It's just placing the decals and adding the top coat to the rest of the nails. So yeah. So right here, I'm just cleaning up some damage that was caused with her near the dryer or in the dryer or whatever went on. She ended up um, chipping away some of the polish. So I just followed up with another coat. And like I said, she had a few incidents. So I had to redo the actual decal on this particular nail. So I'm just showing you the process again. So it's just like we running it back on replay just to give you a full scope of what's going on when you're applying the decal. So I'm not upset that this happened. Just understand that you can always redo the actual nail. It's not a big deal. So yeah, I just went in and created some extras. And that's why I think it's important to make extra decals, even in your little sample section, where I do my samples before I begin the process. It's always good to have some backup for situations like that, but it's not a big deal. So yeah, we're just showing you again the actual process. So yeah, guys, I did have some footage of me applying the rest of the decals. However, it wasn't in frame as usual. Yeah, I think I'm going to apply one more to this particular thumbnail, but I don't have any footage of me applying the actual polka dots. However, it's the same steps, same process. I started off with the actual violet color on this nail because she had bumped it against something before it was dry once again. So I just used that as my seal for the decal on this particular nail. However, that is not typically what I do. So I only did it for that purpose. And you just apply this the same exact way. You know, you want to seal in that decal, clean up the excess, and make sure that it's molded to your actual nail so it can look flawless. I have a somewhat of a flawless finish. So yeah, this pretty much completes this actual session. So I do want to thank you all for tuning in today. We really appreciate your time and energy. We hope to see you guys on the next video. Peace and love, and as always, be blissful.
DJ Mike C on the track.
Cause that be natural.
Lady D.
Ain't looking tacky. I keep my game tactful.
Yo,
Yeah, I'm so nappy. Cause that be
the
natural. Ain't
infamous.
looking tacky. Cause I keep my game tactful.
I'm so pretty, I'm so faboo, I'm so natural, it's like it's a taboo. I'm so filthy, got the tattoo, hucking these bitches like I own ragu. On my business with my platoon, getting these minutes like I'm a typhoon. Y'all is jersey on that cartoon, and I'm sitting on top of these buffaloes. I'm so nappy, I'm so nappy. All these dudes that wanna get at me, I'm so cultured and I'm happy. Jealous witches wanna come back me, cause I'm comfortable in my skin. End of the day, you lose, I win. I'm so